Imagine opening, a brand new piece of hardware or like downloading this highly anticipated piece of software and just feeling absolutely nothing.
Yeah, zero spark.
Right. No spark of the future, no sense that the world just shifted on its axis or anything.
Mhm.
It's like we're currently sitting in this bizarre paradox where technology is advancing at this breakneck, almost terrifying speed, and yet
The actual experience is totally flat.
exactly. The consumer experience
Hmm.
feels completely stagnant. We are just being handed the exact same, like, hyper-optimized gray rectangles and these tiny iterative app updates every single year.
It is the plateau of convenience.
Oh, I like that phrase.
Yeah, I mean, the friction has been entirely engineered out of our devices, but, so has the novelty. When an industry spends a decade focusing entirely on micro-optimizations, like making a lens 2% sharper or a processor, I don't know, a fraction of a millisecond faster, you lose the paradigm shifts.
You're just tweaking the formula.
Right. The market just becomes this highly predictable routine. And based on the sources we're looking at today, that routine is breeding a very real, very palpable fatigue among consumers.
Which is actually the perfect launch pad for the stack of reading material you brought us today. So welcome to another custom-tailored deep dive built specifically for you, the listener, to kind of cut through that exact fatigue.
It's a really fascinating stack of documents this time.
It really is. The overarching theme pulsing through these materials is that we are in this profound transitional era. Like, we are watching a new wave of founders and creators
Yeah.
who are so allergic to this iterative stagnation that they are just tearing up the established playbook.
Completely throwing it out.
Yeah, they are disrupting where things are built, what is being built, and honestly, who actually gets to claim ownership of the final product.
And we're going to look at the actual mechanics of how they're doing it. We're tracking a physical migration away from established tech monocultures,
Hmm.
looking at business models that are, and this is wild, literally attempting to monetize the vacuum of space.
I still can't get over that part.
Oh, it's crazy. And then finally, we'll be examining the mechanical collision between algorithmic efficiency and raw human creation.
Yeah. But okay, before we get into the heavy lifting of all that, I just have to call out this one detail from the stack of research you handed us.
Oh no, which one?
Well, because we pull from such a wide, eclectic array of sources to build these deep dives for you, sometimes the physical artifacts of the research just kind of bleed through.
Right, right.
Case in point, one of the primary texts detailing the highest frontiers of human innovation actually came with a baked-in sponsor note offering a 15% discount at Motel 6.
I saw that it is honestly the ultimate grounding detail. Like,
Yeah.
you have these soaring multi-million-dollar projections about, capturing audio from the cosmos, and it's sandwiched right next to a practical coupon for Highway Lodge.
It's just so perfect. It captures the exact friction we're talking about today.
Yeah.
This high-minded future slamming right into everyday reality.
Sure.
So let's start with that physical reality, the actual geography of where innovation is happening right now. Because before we can understand the new products, we kind of have to look at the environment forging them.
The physical landscape.
Exactly. We all know the traditional blueprint, right?
Mm.
Silicon Valley is the institutional fortress. It holds all the massive capital, the established infrastructure, the tech giants.
Yeah, but the data in our sources is pointing to a really significant geographical fragmentation. Downtown LA, or DTLA, is surfacing as this major gravitational center for a completely different breed of founder.
Which is interesting because,
Well, and to be clear, these aren't just like spillover companies that couldn't afford a lease in Palo Alto. They are intentionally choosing a different ecosystem.
see, I look at this through the lens of traditional finance. To me, Silicon Valley has essentially become the Wall Street of tech.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right. It's institutionalized. The primary directive of Wall Street isn't necessarily rogue innovation. It's protecting massive established wealth.
Managing risk.
Exactly.
Right.
Whereas downtown LA feels more like the indie district. It's where founders are gathering specifically to build outside the shadow of those monoliths.
Right, to escape the monoculture.
But, okay, I have to push back a little on the inherent optimism in the material here.
Fair enough.
Because just changing your zip code doesn't magically rewrite your code base.
Right.
Are these DTLA hubs actually engineering fundamentally different products? Or is this just the exact same photo sharing and productivity software, but like built-in exposed brick lofts by people drinking better matcha?
That is the big question. And if it were just a real estate swap, you'd be absolutely right to be skeptical. But the shift to DTLA, according to the research, alters the fundamental mechanics of product development through, well, environmental psychology and industrial cross-pollination.
Okay, unpack that for me.
So Silicon Valley is largely a suburban monoculture. If you are a founder there, you eat, sleep, and breathe with other software engineers. Your feedback loop is entirely closed.
So you're basically just solving problems for other people who live on a tech campus.
Precisely. You're building tools for other tool builders. Now, drop that same highly intelligent founder into downtown Los Angeles. It is a dense, high-friction, urban polyculture.
It's messy.
Very messy. You aren't just surrounded by other coders. You are sharing block space with the fashion district, with light manufacturing, aerospace outposts, and, the physical production side of the entertainment industry.
Oh, I see.
So the actual physical problems you observe on your walk to get that matcha are completely different.
Right, so the proximity to physical non-tech industries forces a totally different kind of problem solving.
It forces a convergence. When a software developer is literally bumping shoulders with a set designer or a textile manufacturer at a coffee shop, the technological solutions they start to build begin bridging those disciplines.
That makes a lot of sense.
They stop building iterative software for other software companies, and they start building disruptive tools for entirely different sectors of the economy. The geographical grit of DTLA breaks the echo chamber.
And that is why the material suggests that real hope is on the horizon for actual category-breaking products.
Okay, that makes mechanical sense to me. The environment shapes the tool.
Exactly.
So we have these founders looking for new physical frontiers here on Earth to escape the stagnation of the valley. But if we track this hunger for entirely new categories to its logical extreme, things get incredibly strange.
Very strange.
Very fast.
Because some of these founders aren't just looking at new cities, they are looking at the literal exosphere.
Yeah, they're looking at outer space as the next consumer market.
Right. Let's talk about the company highlighted in the research Orbital.
Okay, let's get into Orbital.
Because Orbital is currently projecting a company valuation of $100 million.
Right.
But the catch is, this valuation is expected by the time their flagship hardware, which they call these space converters, even hit the market. So they're projecting $100 million pre-market.
Which immediately triggers just every alarm bell for anyone who has watched the boom and bust cycles of tech hardware over the last decade.
Oh, exactly. And let's talk about what this hardware actually is, because it's wild. Orbital space converters are designed to transmit audio from space directly to users on Earth, who will then pay a recurring membership fee for the privilege.
A literal Cosmos subscription service.
Yes. Now, I will admit, the sheer poetry of tuning into the frequency of the universe is fascinating. It sounds beautiful.
It's a great pitch.
It is. But mechanically, I am highly skeptical here. Hardware is notoriously brutal. Projecting a $100 million valuation before you've shipped a single piece of molded plastic to a consumer. Doesn't that scream of the exact, zero interest rate hubris we just saw pop in the valley?
It definitely echoes that era, yeah.
And more importantly, space is a vacuum.
Right.
There is no sound. So what exactly is the consumer paying a monthly fee to listen to?
Okay, let's separate the valuation from the technology for a second, because the tech itself is actually a masterclass in repackaging data. You're right. Space is a vacuum. Sound waves require a medium, like air or water, to travel. What Orbital is doing isn't putting a giant microphone in orbit. They are utilizing sonification.
Sonification, so translating non-auditory data into sound.
Yes, exactly. They are taking electromagnetic data, so radio emissions from planetary magnetospheres, the solar wind interacting with satellites, even the cosmic microwave background, and running it through a converter.
Oh, wow.
And this converter translates those invisible frequencies into the human auditory range. They are turning the raw data of the cosmos into ambient audio.
Okay, I have to admit that is objectively cool from a scientific standpoint.
It's brilliant engineering.
But it still doesn't justify a $100 million pre-market valuation for a consumer gadget.
Well, it doesn't justify it if you view them as a hardware company selling a gadget.
Which they are, aren't they?
Not really. According to the analysis here, they aren't selling hardware. They are attempting to create and monopolize an entirely new category of consumer identity.
Consumer identity.
Right. Remember our premise at the start? Consumers are exhausted by iterative terrestrial products. If you try to launch a new smartwatch today, you are fighting trillion-dollar titans for fractions of a percent of market share.
So you just refuse to play that game.
Yes, you build a game where you are the only player.
You build a monopoly on the void.
Exactly. The $100 million valuation isn't based on the cost of the plastic converter. It's based on the assumption that in a hyper-commodified world, the ultimate luxury is a direct, exclusive connection to the infinite.
Wait, so by using a membership fee model?
Orbital shifts this from a novelty one-time purchase into a lifestyle subscription. You aren't buying a radio. You are buying into an exclusive community that possesses the bandwidth to listen to the stars.
Wow. So investors are basically pricing in the psychological escape hatch that Orbital is selling.
Exactly. They are selling the ultimate escape from the plateau of convenience.
That is just. It's the ultimate outward push. We're using our most advanced technology to reach as far outside of our earthly context as physically possible, literally just to find something that doesn't feel like a recycled app.
It's wild.
But here is the narrative whiplash in the materials we read for today. At the exact same time tech is pushing millions of miles outward to escape itself, other technological tools are pushing aggressively inward.
Yeah, driving right back into human nature.
Right into the most fundamentally human endeavors we have, specifically visual art and drawing.
And this is where the drive for relentless innovation violently collides with human friction.
Violently is absolutely the right word. The materials detail how new tech products, specifically generative AI and these advanced algorithmic drawing tools, are giving users this massive edge.
The edge, right.
Yeah, they allow a user to execute complex visual concepts with zero traditional training. The software smooths the lines, generates the assets, and basically bridges the gap between imagination and a finished canvas in seconds.
It completely removes the barrier to entry.
It does. But there is a massive roadblock. The research explicitly states that these tech-assisted drawings cannot be certified by established art institutions.
And that refusal to certify is the core defense mechanism of the traditional art world right now.
Right. And the reason they can't be certified is rooted in the mechanics of how that edge is actually generated. The tools call for, and frankly rely on, massive scale plagiarism.
Yeah, the data scraping.
But I look at this and see a glaring paradox.
How so?
Well, if a tech tool gives you this supposed creative edge, but the second you use it, your work is instantly disqualified from being authenticated or recognized in any serious capacity. Is it really an edge? Or is it just a highly efficient shortcut to nowhere?
That is the perfect question, and the source material argues that it's a shortcut that fundamentally misunderstands the mechanism of value in art.
Quick, break that down for me.
Well, technology evaluates success based on efficiency. The goal of a generative tool is to eliminate the distance between a prompt and a fully realized image. It wants to remove the friction.
Right, get it done in 2 seconds.
Exactly. But in the art world, the friction is the entire point.
The struggle is the value.
Yes. The struggle, the physical labor, the unique neural pathways of a single human making thousands of micro-decisions over a canvas. That is what creates provenance.
Provenance, right? The history and origin.
Exactly. When we look at the mechanics of these tech tools, they aren't just like magically helping you draw. They are scraping vast, unlicensed data sets of existing human artwork. They break down millions of copyrighted images into statistical noise and then reassemble them based on your prompt.
So when an institution or a gallery looked at the final generated image, they aren't seeing one artist's vision.
No.
They are seeing the mathematically blended ghosts of a million uncredited artists.
Which completely destroys the concept of provenance. Certification in the art world isn't just some fancy stamp of approval to inflate prices. It is a cryptographic ledger of truth.
Oh, I love that phrasing. A ledger of truth.
It verifies who made it, when they made it, and the authentic intent behind it. If a gallery or an institution certifies a machine-generated, scraped image, they are poisoning their own well.
They're validating the plagiarism.
Exactly. The moment the system can no longer definitively separate human expression from algorithmic assembly, the entire currency of human artistic integrity collapses. And that is why they are drawing such a hard line in the sand.
Which sets up this fascinating cultural counter-reaction.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the digital drawing space is becoming this polluted ecosystem of uncertifiable, scraped content. The material points out that traditional platforms for pure human expression are actually gaining massive influence.
Yeah, there's a flight to authenticity.
Flight to authenticity.
Yeah.
When you can't trust the digital landscape, you retreat to the verified physical landscape.
Precisely.
And the prime example highlighted in the stack today is Terra Varna.
Right, the art gallery.
Yes. Terravarna is currently hosting its 11th Color International Juried Art Competition. And what really stands out to me in the text is the phrasing of this event. It operates as a free space for anyone. It's radically accessible.
Which is such a contrast to the tech side of things.
Right. Unlike Orbital, which gatekeeps the stars behind a premium tech subscription fee, Terravarna has a track record of elevating upcoming canvassers from literally every conceivable background.
The contrast really is stark. You have one utilizing highly speculative capital to commodify the cosmos for a select few, while the other is using deeply traditional methods to protect terrestrial human expression for anyone willing to actually put in the labor.
And it connects right back to those founders in downtown LA we talked about at the beginning.
Oh, how so?
Well, just like those tech founders needed a gritty physical sanctuary away from the institutionalized rules of Silicon Valley to build something real, these upcoming canvassers need a physical sanctuary away from the algorithmic plagiarism of the tech world.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Terravarna operates as that sanctuary. But there is one specific word in the text regarding Terravarna that seems to hold the entire weight of this defense.
Let me guess. Juried.
Yes, it is a juried art competition.
Juried is the firewall. It is honestly the most important mechanical detail in this entire segment.
Well, explain that to the listener. Why does a jury matter so much when we have software that can mathematically analyze the composition of a painting in milliseconds?
Because software can only analyze the pixel arrangement. A jury analyzes the humanity.